What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another basic movie review channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Chase, and let's talk about one. So, the one I want to talk about right now is Causeway. Now, this one comes to us from A24, and it hits Apple TV Plus this Friday, November 4th. If you care to watch this film, regardless of what I'm about to say, it's also playing in select theaters right now as well. So, what is this movie about? A U.S. soldier suffers a traumatic brain injury while fighting in Afghanistan and struggles to adjust to life back home. And stars Jennifer Lawrence as the soldier that we're talking about in the synopsis. And she meets another character played by Brian Tyree Henry in this small little town, kind of outside of New Orleans, or it might be New Orleans, but definitely a small little town. And they strike up a friendship. So, going into this, I didn't know what to expect. The only thing I knew was it was A24, great. And that Jennifer Lawrence is back doing a movie after so many years of taking time off for herself. And I believe she had a kid as well. So she has been, out of the spotlight for a while. So now she has come back. And this is kind of her first big one to return to. So that's all I knew about it. I didn't watch any trailers to it. I just went into it blind. I was excited to see Jennifer Lawrence kind of come back after so many years. And of course, Brian Tyree Henry, I'm a huge fan of. So I was curious about this. So I saw the film. I want to take a break to thank the sponsor of this video, Movie Palette. Hi, it's me interrupting me, and I just wanted to take a break to thank the sponsor of this review, Movie Palette. Movie Palette takes the concept of the movie poster to the next level. Movie Palette consists of stripes of colors carefully chosen by their team of artists. Every stripe represents a color of a particular scene in a movie and is put in chronological order on the canvas. There are so many movies to pick from, and it doesn't even stop there. They also have whole seasons of TV shows. I recently moved and I needed some things to put on my wall, and I was getting tired of putting up traditional movie posters and wanting something different, and Movie Palette stepped up to the plate. The movie palette that I chose was one of my favorite movies of all time, Logan. This gorgeous palette is a constant reminder of how beautiful this film is and how each scene evokes a different emotion all through its language of color, not to mention a great conversation starter. This is a unique piece to any film and TV lover's home, and I want to help you get one. Use the discount code CHASE15 for 15% off of any product on their website. Film is art, so why not display your favorite as such? That's 15% off of your order when you use the code CHASE15. It's okay. I think what this film does really well is the performances and kind of scratching the surface on what it means to be like a veteran and like coming back from war and suffering PTSD and like how society kind of accepts you back. I feel like it scratched the surface with that and it was slightly interesting. But I think what this film's biggest downfall is that it should be longer. This film is only an hour and a half and strike about 3 to 4 minutes for credits. Now you're looking at under 90 minutes, which is totally fine. But as the movie was going, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get to know these characters' lives more and their history and a little backstory and some depth. And like just before you get to know them and get to love them, the movie just ends. Now it leaves off the two main characters for like this path of hope and redemption and all that stuff. But I just really feel like this should be longer. It should be a mini series to really kind of explore, um, what it means to be a soldier and coming back home and experiencing that home life. Like, I just felt like there was just so much more that could have been explored. Unfortunately, we got what we got, but it was fine. So, to start with the director, Lila Neubauer. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Um, I think this is a really nicely directed movie. I think, and I've never heard of this director before, but kind of looking at her pedigree here, she's directed a couple of episodes of like The Sex Lives of College Girls, which is a really fun show. Room 104, which was also really fun. Um, what is that? Made? Oh, okay, that's a Netflix film. So I'm not really too familiar with her work. But what I can tell you is that it's a nice looking movie. It's a nice feeling movie. The story, it moves like and she really gets the best performances out of these actors. I think from a directing standpoint, this is actually like a really good like pilot. It felt like a really good like pilot or introduction to an overall like story or series and really get these characters to explore. But yeah, I just from a directing standpoint, I think she did a pretty decent job. I think what it really falters down to is the script because there has to be more to this. I just when it gets going, it's just like everything is heading down the right path in terms of discovery for these characters. It just ends, and I'm like, it's like I got a little bit, but this should have been way longer. So I think when it comes to the script, I think what is actually there in terms of substance with you know having these characters interact and like understanding what their mindsets like and are these just friends, are they striking up a relationship, all that stuff, like that was all fascinating. And some of the soldier stuff and the commentary on like the military in general, like some of that was interesting, but once again it felt like it was just very like low shallow area over here when I wanted like some depth to this. I wanted like some meat to this script, but it felt like just a kind of a promising start, not really like following through on the finish. But yeah, so that's what kind of my overall thoughts on the script. Um, and then Jennifer Lawrence is good. It's not like her best role or anything, but I think coming back to such a mentally draining type of role, and like you really have to be in the right mindset for this. I think she did the best that she could do, to especially put her name on this, and she's the marquee name, and she's the one leading this film. I think she is a solid um, lead performance in this film. Brian Tyree Henry is always great. I think the guy has got so much charisma and just personality to him, and just I really like seeing him on screen. Like he can carry a scene, whether it be comedy or drama. The man's got incredible balance, and so I liked him in this. I wasn't like blown away, but I liked him. And so yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on it. It's just there's really not a lot to discuss. I really honestly feel like this was a great start to something bigger, but what we got was just what we got, and it was a little lackluster. So there are some things I liked, there are some things I didn't like, but I think with the mini series mentality, I think this would have gone over a whole lot better. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. I'm just kind of like somewhere in the middle with it. But let me know down below what you thought of Causeway, and whether you liked it, loved it, hated it, all that stuff. I'd like to know your opinion on it. And thank you to our sponsor, Movie Palette, for sponsoring this review. And that will do it for this review. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.